So Prince Poniatowski was the son of the king of Poland, and he lived in Rome the last quarter of the 18th century and the first quarter of the 19th century. And he became known for this collection of gems that he had. And one of the more beautiful ones is this amethyst gem, which is set in a gold frame, which is original to the collection. We know this because there are other gems in other collections that have this frame with a distinctive little black enamel rim around the edge. But it's a gem that shows the myth of Apollo and Cyparissus, which is a sort of obscure myth from Ovid's, as told in Ovid's Metamorphosis. And of course, Ovid's language is so beautiful, and I'm sure I'll mangle it. But it comes in a retelling of the story of Orpheus, and Orpheus, of course, being the musician whose voice entranced anyone who heard it, magical. And in this story, Orpheus is out in the open on the top of a hill with no shade and is in the blazing noon sun. And he starts to sing, to play on his lyre and to sing. And the trees in a distant neighborhood are so moved that they somehow magically move to where Orpheus is to shade him. And the last of the trees to cluster around Orpheus was the cypress, and then Ovid tells the story of the cypress. And the cypress it takes its name from Cyparissus, who was a beautiful youth, the most beautiful, handsomest youth in his town, who was beloved by Apollo. And in this particular town, there was a magical deer that was beloved by the nymphs of the local spring, and who was bejeweled, his horns were gilt, he had a necklace around his neck, pearls at his ears, and a little charm hanging from its antlers. But he was most beloved by Cyparissus, who would wreathe garlands of flowers to hang in its horns and take it out on walks to graze it in fresh meadows and take it to streams, for it to drink. And the youth was quite besotted with this beautiful deer. But one day, when the two of them were apart, Cyparissus was out and he saw a deer in the distance resting in the hot noon sun under a tree, and without realizing, he threw his spear at this deer and pierced it. And when he came upon it, he realized he had killed his best friend. And he was so besotted that he wanted to die. And Apollo, in the gem, we see Apollo attempting to pull the youth away from the stricken deer, whose head is up plaintively with a spear in his back underneath this tree. And Apollo implores the youth to sort of put things in perspective, but the youth is inconsolable and starts to waste away from his grief and asks to be allowed to mourn forever. And Apollo turns him into a cypress tree. And cypress trees from thenceforth are at grave, at cemeteries.